Hello job seekers, Melanie here with CGL Recruiting, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 worst things that you can do for your job search. I want to make sure we have a chance to talk through these so we can make sure you avoid them and you can land that great job you're looking for. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that now. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and if you feel like this information is helpful, give us that like and share at the end. I also want to make sure I do mention, if those of you that are not aware, we are now having live events every Thursday at 10 o'clock Central Time. So if you're interested, join us on our YouTube channel and I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can during that hour about your job search. Okay, let's get in talking about the 5 worst things you can do as part of your job search. So the number one thing that is the worst you can do when you're looking at your job search is following only one path. What do I mean by that? There are lots of different ways that you should be approaching your job search. It's not enough to just do one avenue if you really want to be successful. So let's talk through what a couple of those avenues are right now. So of course, the most obvious is just taking your resume and applying for different positions online. Yes, it is a very important avenue. And anybody that says, oh, I never get a job online, nobody ever gets a job online, that is not a true statement. And I think there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people, as well as companies, that will easily say that is just not a true statement. Companies absolutely hire candidates from online. Okay, so following one path of going and applying online is not enough. You have to be networking. You have to be reaching out to the companies that you're interested in. You have to be trying to get through employer referral programs. You have to try and get a job through the number one best way, which is through someone you know. My point is, if you just go at your job search by only sitting behind your desk, applying for jobs, you're not going to be very successful. Take the time to look at your job search way more holistically, and you'll have a better result. Our number 2, that is the worst mistake you can do, is to only do surface searching. What do I mean by surface searching? Well, that is, again, only talking with companies that have a very visible presence at job fairs and only applying to companies that have positions posted. There's lots of times that there are companies and openings which you're just not going to come across unless you do more than just that surface searching. If there are 50 companies within 5 miles of you and where you live, you should, as part of your job search, be reaching out to each of those companies. Do they have a LinkedIn page? Do they have a website? Do they go on Instagram or Twitter? What presence do they have online that you can do some research on the company and see if they have any openings or any positions that may not be open today, but that you might be interested in tomorrow? How can you interface better with those companies and do research so when you do get a chance to talk to them, it's more than just that surface level? If you really want to be successful in your job search, if you stick to just that surface level strategies, you're not going to be able to find that great job that you want as easily. Take the time, do the research. So let's talk about our number 3 worst thing you can do as a job seeker, and that is show desperation. The job seeking process will be one of the hardest processes you ever go through in your life. It is soul crushing because so many of us have our self-worth based on our job. And you can debate that right or wrong forever, but the reality is when someone loses their job, it definitely takes a toll on them. And if you're not careful, the angst that you feel and the undermining of your own feelings gets through when you start talking with recruiters, HR, and companies. The last thing that you want to do during an interview is have the person interviewing you focused on the desperation in your voice. You want them focused on your skills and experience. That is what is important. One of the worst things that you can possibly say during an interview is just, I don't care, I'll just take anything, please just give me a job. What that does is make the interviewer then focus on that. You don't want them focused there. You also don't want them to think that you're going to leave 3 months down the road when you find the role that you really want and you're just taking this as a stopgap. So try and try again to not show that desperation when you're interviewing, when you're talking with people, in your emails. I know it's hard. Get a buddy, get a friend, get somebody that you can talk with. You are not alone. There are 25 million people on unemployment at the time that I'm recording this video. You are not alone. Get somebody else that you can talk with. And when you have your lows, they can pull you out. And when they have their lows, you can help pull them out. But try not to make that desperation show as part of your job seeking. So let's talk about the number 4 worst thing that you can do for your job search. And this one is to be negative and to turn negative. And this is very different from desperation. This is where you feel like, I don't know, you interviewed with a company and they treated you wrong, or you received, you sent in a resume and you haven't received any notice back. Whatever it is, you start to get very negative and jaded on the whole job search process. Now, I'm not telling you that you're wrong, and I'm not telling you that you don't have a reason for feeling negative. But if you allow those negative feelings, they will take over your job search and will actually damage it. And if you spend some time on like LinkedIn, you can see on different individuals where this has happened to them. I saw a profile the other day saying in the headline, I don't want to talk to you if you're just going to try and sell me something. Well, I understand that that job seeker may be very burnt by feeling they're trying to network and build out, and all they do is feel like people are coming back at them and trying to sell them stuff. But that's not helping their job search by having that as a headline. In fact, it's hurting it. Instead of the person looking at their profile saying, oh, they're a accounting and finance person. Oh, they're a supply chain person. They're focused on, what's the story there? So are there going to be times in this job search process that your blood's going to be boiling? You're so upset? Yes, it absolutely, I'm positive, is going to happen. You can't let that negativity show to anybody else in your job search. That's something, again, get a buddy, a family member, a friend, and talk about it offline, but don't let it show to other HR people, recruiters, hiring managers, and companies who may have that perfect job that you're gonna want. You want them focused on your skills and experience, not any negative feelings that you have coming through in your job search. So what's our number 5 thing that's the worst thing you can do for your job search? I'm actually going to break this one into 2 parts because they're both very, very important. And the answer overall is to quit. So the first part of this is if you feel, I just can't get a job, it's just not going to happen, and you give up and you quit, you're right. The chances of you getting a job just went down drastically. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep working this day in and day out. Remember, your full-time job when you're looking for a job is to find a job. So you should be spending at least 40 hours a week on finding a job if you were unemployed. If you were working, you'd be spending 40 hours a week minimum in that job. So I know the rest of your life can take over and things will pull on you, but you really do need to be spending 40 hours working on that job. Okay, so now I want to talk about the second part of quit, and that is more quitting too soon. And where this happens is you get an offer. Or you get somebody saying, we're going to be giving you an offer in the near future, and you stop all the rest of your job searching activities. I'm going to strongly, strongly recommend you do not do that. I actually do not think that you should stop your job search until your first day of employment with your new company. Why is that? There are lots of times that offers get rescinded. And it could be something totally outside of your control. I mean, of course, things happen, like people fail drug screens or background checks, or something comes back in a reference that a company doesn't like and they'll pull back the offer. But more than not, there's economic issues that are going on now. When we're recording this, it's August of 2020, and the world is still like this with the economy. And so I have lots of individuals that we have been talking with that had an offer, thought they were going to be starting, and then last minute that offer has gotten rescinded. Some within like a day or two of when they were going to start their new job. So my honest things, one of the worst things you can do right now for your job search is to quit. Don't stop until you actually start with that next company. Thanks again for watching. I hope this information was helpful. Please don't forget to give us that like and thumbs up, or thumbs up and like is the same thing, and to share if you feel like this data was helpful. And then also, please consider joining us on Thursdays, 10 a.m. Central Time every week, where we will have our live Q&A sessions on our YouTube channel. I would love to hear from all of you and answer any questions that I possibly can. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.